So, to be honest, I'm not sure yet where this is going to go, and it kind of runs against the advice I was given, where I should have more of an outline and kind of structure this more, and not spin my wheels so much. So, right now, I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit, and then I'm going to go back and maybe look at what I posted so far. Kind of listen through, see if I can pick up loose threads, and see if I feel like something needs to change, which leads to the title of this video. And also I thought it was kind of appropriate considering I got a fairly significant shortening of my hair. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I think that ties into some of what happens with mental health. So I was growing my hair out for a film project that I wanted to be a part of. Um, and it was delayed because of the coronavirus. And I still thought that, maybe if the shooting dates weren't moved too far, then I'd be okay, and then I could. But I didn't want to teach with that, with all of that mane, with all that hair, because I found it really distracting. My hair has a tendency to kind of flop down in my face, and it just kind of ends up here, and I, started to do that kind of flick a lot to get it out of my face, and I felt like that was a distraction. I didn't like it. So when they delayed the shooting a second time, I decided it was time to kind of create a hard break between me and the project. And so I got a haircut that I felt was a little more appropriate for teaching. It's not in my face anymore. And that ties a little bit. This is something that I've talked about with my wife. When she would go through a breakup, she almost inevitably cut her hair. And I think I've talked about this before, and it's something that's tied here. I have made a decision to change something that created a clear line between before and after. So before I got my hair cut, I was considering being a part of this project. Now that I've gotten my hair cut, I have told myself, and to a lesser extent the world, that I am no longer going to be waiting. And I'm not condemning the production. I'm not there are no hard feelings here in this case. It's just that I needed to make a decision and say, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing with my life. Is I'm moving forward. I'm not waiting anymore. And it's a disappointment because I don't have a big bucket list, and it might be kind of silly and it might be kind of dumb. But one of the things that is on my bucket list is to be in a film, just to experience that process. And I cut myself off from one of the better chances that I've had to fulfill that kind of bucket list thing. I mean, right now, the only things I can think of on my bucket list are like, these are things I want to do. Is I want to own a motorcycle again, and I want to be in a movie. I mean, it would be fun to travel the world. On my wife's bucket list are going to some different countries, some different areas, and I support those, and in the process, of course, I get to go there. But for me, that's kind of it. And so I said no to something that I've wanted to do for as long as I can remember, because I needed to. And I think that's maybe one of the things about this is these hard lines that we draw, when we accept the changes and say this is the before and this is the after. Sometimes mental health, self-care is not indulgence. It's not, it's not eating chocolates. It's not sitting on the couch all day watching movies. Although sometimes those are self-care, but sometimes self-care is saying, no, for my mental health, I can't let myself be dragged on in the hopes that maybe I'll be in a position where I can be involved in this film project, in my case, and still teach. We're getting too close to the beginning of the semester, and if they, especially with the craziness that is going to be fall semester, it didn't feel right. And so for my own self, for my own self-care, I decided to draw the line and to change that. And really, that's, I think, significant to me, is that that change is something that I had control of, and I used it to feel better about my own situation. Another issue here, and I as I was thinking about talking about this, the song "Changes" came to mind, and I didn't realize it was a David Bowie original. Um, I'd heard covers of it, but never Bowie's itself. Um, and he's a fascinating person, but I don't have the knowledge to really comment about him. But there are also changes that we don't have control over, and that's there's that the Serenity Prayer that we talk about. Let's see if I can get it right off the top of my head. Lord, help me to have the wisdom to see the things that I can change. The no, the Lord, help me to have the wisdom to see the things that I cannot change, um, the strength to change the things that I can, and the courage to know the difference. I got it wrong, but you know it, and I might address that in the comments thing down below, where I'll put it in there right. But this is one of the challenges of life, and right now, one of the other things that I did when cutting my hair is it was a way of giving myself an opportunity to do something, because as we're getting ready for the semester, my profession as a professor, I teach, and there's a lot of uncertainty with that. There's also so much going on right now that I'm just not sure about where I belong in these issues that do matter to me, but I don't know where to stand or how to stand there, while taking care of myself and others. Um, and so this was something I could do that helped me to change, to kind of refresh um, myself and what I'm dealing with. And that's important too, because when we're faced with things that have changed that we cannot control, for a lot of us, that is hard, for our mental health. We live sometimes in a very delicate balance, where when things are running well, we are able to kind of adjust and adapt to maintain a certain level of sanity. And I know both myself and my wife and some of our family, we're feeling the strain of being, of having a summer where so many important things are completely out of our control. And of course, we can wear masks, and that's valid and valuable, but that's not enough to curtail the issue. It's got to be something that as a community we resolve to work together. And right now, I don't see a lot of community building um, in the United States. Um, that's and that's a concern for me, and I can't do anything about it. I am not in a place, psychologically, mentally, whatever you want to say, where I can engage peacefully and calmly and rationally in a way that's going to affect change in people who don't see my perspectives. Um, and that's my problem, but that's where I am. I haven't been able to get myself in a position where I feel like I can engage with them in a way that's meaningful and valuable. And so I'm struggling with that, and that's something I can change. I can change me, but it's going to take some time. Um, but until then, I have to find ways of making peace with the things that I cannot change, um, and that's hard, especially when things are changing in ways that I don't like. Um, so I do the small things that I can. I'm fully in support of wearing masks. I think the cost to benefit ratio is definitely on the side of wearing masks. I don't necessarily disagree with some of the concerns that people have raised about what's going on behind the scenes. And, uh, I'm not immune to tinfoil hat thinking. It's something that comes up. But I'm doing what I can to prepare to be ready to engage with people who are also going to be at probably a low quality of mental health. They want to be in class. This is one of the fascinating things, is that the vast majority of students want face-to-face instruction. That's something I think we learned, is that they want that, but they want to be safe doing it. And that's a hard thing to figure out. Anyway, I've wandered off a little bit, and that is the concern that I've had. So, obviously I have so many people watching these things, so I'm going to have so many responses to this. But um, since I'm looking at changes, since I'm considering what I need to do and how I want to do it, if there are things that you think would be better or worse for me to do, if you want to tell me that these rambling random conversations are exactly what you want, let me know. What do you want? What do you think is important? Um, yeah, I'm looking at trying to decide where to go from here. Um, Not doing them anymore is on the table. It's got to be good for me, but I don't think shouting into the vacuum of the internet is something that is necessarily good for me. I don't think. But I'm considering that. So, let me know. Anyway, I think that's it for now. Take care of yourselves and good luck.